Hey everyone, and welcome to the social media marketing lesson of the day. I have a very interesting guest here. He is only 19 years old, already killing it on social media. This is Pablo Arias, the founder of Respark, which is a social media agency, digital agency, works in app development, social media marketing, campaigns, brands, and just has really pioneered in the space because he's been on social media and you saw an opening and you went for it, right? Mm-hmm. So why don't you kind of just tell us a little bit about what your agency does and then we can go from there.
Cool, yeah. So Respark is a digital media holdings company. And so, stemmed from that, we have multiple subsidiaries that we're involved in. Like you said, we're social media marketing, app development, and consulting. So if someone wants an app made, we can kind of help guide that process. And just working on a bunch of cool apps right now.
Yeah.
Social networking apps to gaming, so kind of just all across the board, anything really just in tech. We have some things that kind of setting us up to dabble into VR as well.
Oh wow,
so,
cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So what are some trends that you've noticed in social media? What are the things that you have invested in with your clients that get you the biggest ROI on marketing them and getting enough drive traffic to them, drive eyeballs to them, and convert into sales?
So I would say that finding a niche is very important. I'll give you an example. Very recently, actually, I started a marketing campaign for a very good friend of mine for a movie called The Poe Experiment, which is a house out in Kansas City, one of the most haunted houses in history. And so naturally we kind of wanted to do a social media push, but who likes scary movies? Well, who follows scary theme pages on Instagram? And so I would say on social media, especially, there are two types of influencers. You'll have individual influencers, a face behind them, celebrity, a model, an actor, actress, whatever. Right. And then you also have themed accounts, so these meme pages that we see all over, that crack us up.
Yeah.
And so, for something like that, I would say that, if for this horror film, for example, we went ahead and ran a campaign with a page called Best of Horror, which is, biggest social media horror themed account on Instagram, because naturally all those people that follow the account like scary stuff. And
right.
So it only made sense to present a scary movie to that audience.
Sure.
And so I would just say, find out exactly, like I said earlier, find out who it is you want to target. Who do you think would be your ideal, sometimes I'll even, give them a name, call them Bob or Sally, and give Bob or Sally, some characteristics, who you think, would want to buy your product or service the most, who would want to, buy into whatever it is you're selling. And so for just case dependent, I just, I kind of identify what I, based on my personal judgment, what I think would work best for that. And so, excuse me, so I'll use this. And so I'll just find out, who it is I want to target, and what pages on Instagram do I think, or it doesn't have to be Instagram. I say Instagram because I mainly work on Instagram. Sure. But I do Snapchat as well. Facebook. And so just finding out who it is you want to target and how you think, where you think their attention is currently at at that moment in time.
Now, going along with the niches, you said that that's a movie that you've worked on. You've done stuff with clothing lines. How do you determine what kind of clients you want to work with?
I just work with clients who I think I could, genuinely help.
Okay.
I don't just take a client just so I can make a quick buck.
Right.
Just I could do that for you. Because you're only as good as what people say about you, and so you have kind of, as a company, you have a responsibility and a brand to protect. If you take enough clients who you just genuinely know that you won't be able to help that much, word spreads. Oh no, I tried it with him. It didn't work out for me. And so I really just stick with people, and clients that I think I could, really actually help. And a lot of those clients have all been, people that are wanting to target, the younger demographics, brands, who want to target, younger audiences who understand that, 12-year-old kids aren't spending as much time watching TV or, reading magazines or in the print. They have their heads, I think they spend like, it's a over 8 hours a day on just their device, on any type of device. So whether a tablet or a phone, this little iPhone thing's become the biggest media platform in history.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of attention's going there. So where attention goes, energy flows. And so, I just find out where, kids are, where their attention's at, and I try to tap into that.
Mm-hmm. And how do you get companies to take you seriously? I mean, you're very young. How do you get them to take you seriously as a business person? Because this is an emerging market, and some of the people in our programs are young, and they think, oh, geez, I'm going to be going and talking to adults and older executives. And how do you overcome that kind of bias?
Right. So what I would say about that is money is a direct reflection of the value that you can provide. You will get paid based on how much value it is that you are bringing to the marketplace. And the truth is that the marketplace does not care how old you are.
Right.
It doesn't, the marketplace is just not judgmental. The market just wants what the market wants. And so, I would say when talking, it was very intimidating at first. And, when we went through our first kind of round of venture capital funding, back when I was 18, I was intimidated. I was talking to guys with gray hair who were throwing terms at me I didn't know, I didn't know. And so, for someone young especially, I would just say, invest into you. You are, at the end of the day, you're your greatest asset. And so, I spent almost, every single dime that I had, as I was, going through my process into seminars, into, books, into, networking meetups even. You'll find that, if you go to enough, kind of look, what I tell people is look around also in like neighboring, look in their cities or neighboring cities and go online and look up, business meetups, networking meetups, tech conferences or something. And just kind of find a way to get there. If you have enough hustle, I think that you can get there. And so I think, just make yourself valuable, and people will take you serious regardless of how old you are.
True. And how did you find your first clients?
Just all personal introductions. I would say that was, one of my stronger suits has been that I've always been pretty good at networking. I started in network marketing when I was 15, and I ended up doing pretty well with that. And what that taught me, I kind of took a step away from that whole industry altogether. But what that taught me was that relationships are very valuable, and I've just built my business off of personal relationships that I've built with people. I've always taken the mentality of making a friend first and then business second, because sometimes too that that could hurt you if you try to go out and network with as many people as you can, and then all you want to do is talk business. Some people kind of get shied away from that. And so I've built my business based on giving and not taking as well. I've always gone into the mentality of how can I give more than I take, and if you give enough people what they want, it's the law of the universe. You will eventually get what you want.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So let's say you get a new client. What's the first thing you do when you're evaluating their social media strategy?
So once again, I just go, okay, who do we want to reach? We want to reach ages X to ages Y, this little time slot. I go around and I do my due diligence. If it's an older audience, for example, I go straight to Facebook. That's my go-to. It's Facebook. Facebook will, it could allow you to target. If your target audience is, accountants from Miami, then you go and Facebook will literally allow you to target specifically 30 to 55-year-old, males and females who are accountants in Miami, and so when I pick up a client, we just kind of go, well, what's our strategy? What is it that we're trying to accomplish with this marketing campaign? And then, I make a very educated guess as to where I think we should head.
Right. And what kind of dollar amounts are you spending on marketing? How much do you boost a Facebook post? Do you put a lot of money into that aspect of the marketing, or is it more about content creation? How do you kind of structure it?
Yeah, definitely content is king, the better the content, the better, it's going to go for you.
Yeah.
So as far as the dollar amount,
You don't have to give specifics, but
you know, really, you could start a Facebook, you know, a Facebook marketing campaign for, I think the last time I checked, which was a few days ago, that I was trying to like do this movie for, which was like, I think it was like $32, you know, the one of the, you know, cheapest, you know, bare minimum that you could start with.
Right.
And so then, you know, I just kind of, you know, I guess going back to the experimenting, you know, look for the bare minimum that you can spend on a certain social media marketing campaign, and then maybe just, you know, dabble with it, you know, and try it out. And if you see that you're getting pretty good ROIs, then, you know, that might be worthwhile to look further into and kind of start putting your eggs into that basket. You know, these campaigns, they can go anywhere from, you know, $32 to just, you know, very expensive.
Right.
You know,
and what are some campaigns you've done, or what are the qualities or aspects of a campaign that you've done that you think promotes the most engagement and gets the most conversions, whether that's people calling us or like calling the accountant in Miami? What are the things that you've used that are tricks? Maybe it's giveaways, maybe it's, you know, what is the content that gets you the most engagement?
Engaging with your audience. As you know, as you're starting off and doing social media, what you'll realize is, you know, say if you want to, you know, get involved in music, you know, you want to you're an aspiring artist, right? Really get involved in that community. You know, it really is a community. It's an online community at that, but, you know, get involved with it. You know, comment on things. Say, oh, I really like this verse. You know, this beat was really cool. You know, I love the chorus. She has a great voice. You know, I love the way she hit this note. So really just kind of getting involved in that community. And so, for example, like the horror film that we did recently, I would go out and, you know, I would get involved with, you know, other theme pages and do collaborations and go and even comment on their stuff, like, nice video, oh, that scared the heck out of me, good stuff, like, you know, just kind of getting engaged in that, and also just, you know, providing value, you know. So for the horror film too, you know, we weren't just, you know, taking, you know, as one of my favorite business leaders today, Gary Vaynerchuk says, is that, you know, jab, 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 right hook. A lot of people come out and, you know, they just go straight for the right hooks, you know, right hooks. And, you know, that's how you get slaughtered. And so, you know, understand when it's the right time to jab and when it's the right time to hook. And so an example of that may be, you know, for this page that we've been, you know, doing for the horror film, it's been jab, jab, and then hook. You know, we'll post probably for every one post that we do that says, come buy my product, come buy my movie, come do something for me. We'll do 2, give something out, you know, give some value, you know, make funny memes, you know, really edit a nice video for people to enjoy, you know, and just, you know, kind of just, you know, like I said, just engaging with that audience. And I actually go through and I read the comments of what people are saying and, you know, what it is they liked, and what it is they didn't like. And so I, you know, okay, maybe we'll stop doing that. And we'll, you know, we'll start focusing on this more.
Cool. How much engagement do you think a brand should have with its consumer base? Should they be spending 50% of their time like responding to comments or promoting conversation, or is it more just about posting and getting the stuff out there? Because I know, like, for instance, Tai definitely goes and answers comments on Facebook.
Right. I would say, I mean, I probably spend 20% of my time around that. Engaging with the audience and, you know, kind of doing things here and there, responding to DMs, you know, kind of even going out and commenting and following back some people, you know, that hypes a lot of people up. And then I would just say the most important thing, and what I've seen, you know, across many platforms, and I'm not the only one who's going to say this, is just content is king. And you know, the more content that you're putting out there and the more consistent that you're doing it, you know, you're just going to get more people coming. And so for people that ask, you know, how do I get started with social media? How do I kind of do this? I would say how you get started is you get started. You know, that really is, you know, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is at least doing the bare minimum to get the ball rolling. And then, you know, really just studying it and familiarizing yourself with the subject and all that, and, you know, people will start to tell you and come flooding in, and you know, you'll just, you know, you'll sense it and you'll see it, you know, visually where it is you should be heading and what type of content people, you know, are liking the most. Right.
Along those lines, because for instance, you've got Instagram, which is more images, and now with Instagram stories, you've got video, and you've got Snapchat, that's all video. What do you think is more effective for brands? Is it the younger generation wants more video and people more in their 30s like me want more photos, or?
I would say that the newer the social platform, the younger the audience.
Yeah.
And so, Snapchat, you're gonna get a younger audience than you would on Instagram.
Right.
Just overall, you know, you're gonna, they're all over the place, but overall, just generally, the majority is gonna be younger. And then you take it even one step further, and a new one that's coming out and booming is Musically. And Musically is doing a lot of things right. They're giving kids the ability to create, and
Cool.
just all lip syncing,
Yeah.
which is cool. And so, I would just say, as platforms, because kind of we saw it with Facebook. Facebook was really popular amongst college kids, and then our parents and our grandparents started getting on it, and all of a sudden,
And then you were like, nope.
I don't want my grandma seeing what I'm doing on the weekend,
Right.
or something. So then, they kind of migrated over. And so that's what happens with any social media platform, is you'll have your users just migrate. And you kind of just, what you figure out, like I said, which is so important, I'll keep repeating, which is really hone in. And that's why I said, even make an example, really like, what type of person is Sally or Bob, or, my target, demographic, what do they
Right.
like, how can I, what type of content can I do to, get them, kind of suck them in and grab their attention. And so with something, if you're looking to promote on Snapchat, I would say Snapchat right now too is, definitely a platform that most people should not be sleeping on.
Yeah.
It's for what you're going to see too right now is a lot of people that they'll sell you these promotions and all that sort. They're actually very underpriced right now, because the type of engagement on Snapchat, is, people are kind of just sucked into watching stories, and so, they're really, really, engaged in that. Whereas opposed to Instagram, it's more, you're just scrolling through your feed, you tap, oh, I like this is cool.
Right.
Whereas Snapchat, you're kind of just watching, day in the life of Tai Lopez.
Yeah,
You're just it's like it's like a reality TV show almost, so you're just very sucked in.
Yeah. Okay, that's great insight on content creation and starting to find clients. So thank you very much, Pablo.
My pleasure.
19 years old and he's doing it, so you can do it too. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Of course, thank you.
Awesome.